And hey everyone, it's Evan Kirstel here with another great live discussion. I love learning about and talking with disruptive players in the telco and networking space. And we have Sanjay Kumar of Arcus, a company who is disruptive to say the least. Sanjay, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Evan. How are you?
I'm doing really well, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with you. I know a little bit about Arcus. I'm guessing many of our viewers don't. So before we dive into that, why don't you introduce yourself, where you are, and we'll then start talking about you guys and your mission at Arcus.
Fantastic. Excited to be here on this programming with you. My name is Sanjay Kumar, as you mentioned at the top. I am the Vice President of Product Management and Marketing over here at Arcus. I came to Arcus from IP Infusion, where I was leading marketing over there, also in the disaggregated networking space. Prior to that, I worked at HPE Aruba. I also worked at Broadcom and Cisco. So I've been kind of up and down the networking stack, I like to say.
Well, that is fantastic, and you have quite the pedigree uh, to have this discussion. So let me ask you though, what attracted you to the mission and the vision at Arcus from the beginning? You know, what was so appealing about joining the leadership team there?
That's a great question, Evan. So I'd say that the key was the kind of approach that Arcus has towards networking is quite unique and it's extremely differentiated. There are a number of companies out there that have tried to kind of disrupt the status quo, so to speak, in networking with open networking kind of solutions. What I found different over here was that this was a platform that was really built from the ground up for that very purpose. It was a platform that enabled a great deal of flexibility and also the ability for a lot of extra value add on top of it. And so, as a result of that, it essentially addresses many different use cases across different customer segments. I saw the kind of momentum that Arcus had and the kind of mission that it had to really democratize networking. And that really appealed to me. So I thought, with my experience, this would be a really good place to try and really carve a space for ourselves and disrupt the networking industry.
Well, that's so exciting. It sounds like kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity in the networking space, which has traditionally been dominated by, very legacy companies. But when it comes to global enterprises and service providers and their transformation internally and externally, what are some of the drivers there and the business imperatives that you're seeing behind their need to change, adapt, modernize?
That's a great question, Evan. So I think what we're seeing from both the enterprise and the service provider customers is that, like you mentioned, there's a massive transformation underway, digital transformation underway, and there are many exciting new opportunities that newer technologies, like let's say 5G, or for that matter, cloud networking, are allowing these customers to then be able to service newer use cases as well as newer customer segments. The key imperatives, when we step back and take a look at that, and when we speak with the customers, are: number one, they want to be able to deliver superior customer experiences. Number two, from a business standpoint, they want to be able to monetize and all of the different opportunities that they have, and monetize their infrastructure, so to speak, in order to be able to cater to the different use cases and different customer segments. And last but not least, they want to be able to do this, all of this, while being agile, controlling their costs, and not being locked in and really having control over their own network. That's what we see as the key business imperatives that these customers have. And those are the kind of problems that Arcus is really looking to solve, and enabling our customers to be able to break free from vendor lockholds, being able to innovate at their own pace, being able to use a network that is completely flexible, it's agile, it's elastic, it's cloud native, and allows them to continuously add newer services on top of them and be able to monetize that with much quicker time to revenue.
Wow, that's really compelling. I think it's the first time I ever heard a networking solution provider talk about customer experience, but that's a brave new world we're facing. And tell us a little bit about the Arcus Ace platform. First, what does Ace stand for, and how is it differentiated out there as a solution?
Sure, absolutely. So A stands for Arcus Connected Edge. And really, the principle is that we're not just a software provider, an operating software provider. What we do is provide a platform that enables our customers to be able to do all the things that we discussed earlier. So at the very, think of it as a three-layered kind of a platform. At the very bottom layer, we have the guts, and that's what we call Arc OS. That's our operating system that is built from first principles. It is completely cloud native, and that can be used to address multiple use cases, whether you're an enterprise customer or a service provider customer. And you can use it anywhere from the access to the edge to the core of the network and into multi-cloud environments as well. On top of that, the next layer is what we refer to as the Arc Edge, and this is your connectivity layer. Service providers would use this to connect to, let's say, 5G networks on the access side. And on the other end, you may have enterprises looking to connect to multi-cloud environments. So that's sort of the connectivity edge that we have. The layer that we have. The third layer on top of that is what was referred to as the application layer. Because we've got all these open interfaces, we are built on open networking, and therefore you're able to interface and with a number of third-party applications. We have our own applications and an observability engine that we call Arc IQ, and also an orchestration engine that we refer to as Arc. So that's those are the observability and orchestration platforms that we offer as part of our entire offering of Ace. But that doesn't mean that customers can't bring in their own applications and build on top of that. In fact, what we've done with this particular platform and this approach is taken it a step further to build a complete ecosystem around it, which we refer to as PACE, which is the Partner Ace program. And the idea behind that is that anyone wanting to really realize the benefits of open networking should have the ability to quickly integrate different applications on top of this very agile kind of a network. We want to enable that by having a partner ecosystem of different technology vendors, whether it's in the observability space or whether, for that matter, it's in the multi-cloud space, and have them be as part of this ecosystem. So day one, when a customer buys into our network operating platform, it comes with a broad range of options that they can choose from. For example, we've got an integration with VMware Telco Cloud. So we're hosted on their marketplace. We're hosted on other popular marketplaces like AWS and so on. And this gives a customer, right from the get-go, a very rich suite of applications that they can harness and deploy right on top of this platform that we have. One other thing I should mention is while I talked about the operating system, the connectivity layer, and also the application layer, at the bottom layer, something that I didn't mention earlier is the white box hardware. So the basic tenet of our approach is that you can run our operating system on any white box of choice, whether it's a purpose-built white box or, for that matter, bare metal. And our operating system is highly performant, it's highly scalable, and it exercises the maximum amount of performance from any one of these platforms that you can get. So essentially, what we're trying to do in the networking space is what VMware did very successfully in the compute side, which is to virtualize and also be able to run on any type of a hardware that you can get off the shelf.
Wow, that's mind blowing. That's a networking architect's dream here. And just looking at your website, very impressive. 900 plus products shipped, over 200 patents issued, 300 IETF paper submissions. You guys have been busy.
Yes, we have been busy, and it's really exciting because we have terrific customer momentum. We've got a number of large customers who've deployed us in their data center networks. We have customers who are deploying us in the core of their network with virtual distributed routing. We have customers who've deployed our solution for soft routing and also for multi-cloud environments. So quite a list of customers that we're very proud to have, and we were very fortunate to be able to um, take care of all their requirements and really help them reach their business outcomes. Target is one customer that we work very closely with, and we've got a whole bunch of other customers as well.
Exciting. Let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, interoperability,
Yeah.
which has traditionally been a barrier, also, an opportunity. So, how does Arcus address interoperability?
Yeah, that's a great point. So the key is, and we know that we're not going to necessarily walk into a greenfield network and have 100% of the network. Customers are still kicking the tires on disaggregated networking, and we need to make sure that we fit into brownfield networks. So interoperability is a huge part of that. Customers are looking for the reassurance that if they drop us into their network, that we play nice with the other elements in the network and the other vendors that are already there. So in a heterogeneous environment, we want to be able to interoperate with all of the vendors like Cisco, Juniper, Nokia, Huawei. Broadly speaking, these are the kind of vendors that we would tend to see in the different parts of the network. EANTC is a group and a forum that really brings together a whole bunch of vendors to basically run sort of a plug fest and make sure that for different feature sets and for different solutions that there is interoperability. We are proud to have secured their an approval from an interoperability perspective in 2022. Our solution was showcased alongside all the others in Berlin and Paris. These are the different venues that they had to really showcase this interoperability. And that gives our customers a great deal of reassurance that we play nice with all the other vendors that they have in their network, and they can fit us in, and that makes it a very seamless kind of a migration.
Wow, very powerful, very compelling. And you're also active in the 5G space, mobile edge and 5G. I think it's one of the top two or three topics that is on every CIO, CTO, CEO's mind these days. And you're pretty active in the mobile edge. Tell us what you're doing. I saw you at Mobile World Congress. You had some really big announcements then, and you
Yeah.
continue to trailblaze in that space too.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. So 5G is one of those use cases that everyone is talking about, and for good reason. 5G delivers a lot of different promises to both the service providers in terms of being able to address newer customer segments, like let's say enterprises, be able to make new offerings when it comes to, let's say, multi-edge computing, and also on the enterprise side, they're looking at 5G as a way of being able to continuously deliver more and more value and be able to monitor more of the assets that they have. IoT being one of those use cases that's of great interest to enterprises. Uh, 5G is very, very complex when it comes to rolling out the promises of 5G, whether it's network slicing or multi-edge compute kind of use cases. It's a tall task to be able to do that with legacy networks, for the simple reason that being able to provide SLAs for delivering services when it comes to multi-edge compute, or for that matter network slicing, it's very, very complex. What we're doing really with SoftBank is developing the SRv6 MUP technology. SoftBank is really the pioneer in this space, and we've been working very closely with them to develop this architecture that simplifies the ability to deliver these 5G these 5G benefits to the different customers by leveraging SRv6, so segment routing over IPv6 networks. And what that does is it brings the legacy network completely into the IP world. It simplifies the network to a great degree. It makes it much more flexible, and it allows you to be able to deliver pointed SLAs for every one of those services that
Wow.
enterprises are looking for and that services providers want to deliver. So it dramatically reduces cost, it simplifies it, it accelerates the deployment as well. And that's what we've been working with SoftBank on. And very proud to say that at Mobile World Congress, we had a demo, and we're working with different standards bodies with SoftBank to really try to evangelize this, socialize it, and see it go mainstream.
That's great. Well, we couldn't ask for a better partner, customer. And all of this activity was recognized by Gartner in their market guide for multi-cloud networking software. Congratulations on that. No small feat.
Thank you.
Tell us about that, and what over the next few months, what can we keep an eye out for?
A lot, and some I can say over here, and some you'll have to just wait and see when it hits the news. So, as far as multi-cloud networking is concerned, that is another huge problem that we're really looking to solve, and we're very happy that Gartner picked us as one of the vendors to watch as far as delivering multi-cloud networking solutions is concerned. uh, you have enterprises, or for that matter service providers, that have multi-cloud environments, right? So it's not just one cloud. They've got Azure, they've got AWS, they have Google cloud, as well as in some cases Oracle cloud. And to be able to get these cloud networks and to share information between these cloud vendors is fairly difficult to do. So our solution allows for the ability for you to be able to secure control of your own data and be able to move that between the clouds in a very secure manner. That, in a nutshell, is what our multi-cloud networking software really does. And we do this again. This just goes to show, and it's a testament to the flexibility and the scalability of our platform, that it can extend into all these different kind of use cases, whether it's on-prem or for that matter in the cloud, and being able to orchestrate all of this in a hybrid cloud environment. And that's definitely an area that we are moving into. We're happy to be recognized by Gartner, and we're getting a good bit of traction. So I'm sure you'll see more announcements from us in that area, as well as the broader um, set of use cases that we currently do across enterprise and service provider customers.
Oh,
So
fantastic. Well,
the best
it's
is yet
great
to
to
come.
see you're going to be so fundamental to the future of cloud and mobile networking. It's really an exciting time to be at Arcus. I guess my last question is actually, when you want to disconnect from the
Yeah.
cloud and mobile, what do you do? Because you seem like an always connected, a driven guy. How do you relax, switch off, and maybe switch gears to kind of get away from it all?
That's a fantastic question. um, So what I like to do is I like to play the guitar. It's an acoustic guitar. I find it very therapeutic. You're in the moment. It's just you and your guitar, being able to strum away, and it's a great stress buster. I recommend it highly to anyone who's interested in getting some time to themselves. I picked it up about 5 6 years back, and I actually taught myself
Wow,
using YouTube. A
no
number of
kidding.
great channels on YouTube that you can go to. I'm happy to recommend some. And it's a great place to be able to get whatever information you need. And instead of the traditional way of learning, which of course I miss some of the feedback loop, but what it allows me to do is find the playlists, find the songs that I'm interested in, be able to save them, see them at my own pace, at my own time, rewind, save them for later, go back to it, practice alongside it, And I've been able to build up a repertoire of a couple of dozen songs, and which just gives me an enormous amount of joy. I'm not sure how much joy it gives the people who are at the listening end. So my family makes sure that my room is soundproofed when I'm playing.
That's
But that
great.
gives me
I
great
never
joy.
would have imagined self-teaching guitar as a thing, but
That's YouTube for you.
yeah, you can literally learn anything, including guitar. Well, next time you'll have to do a solo, Sanjay. So until then,
Be careful
thanks
what you
for
ask
sharing
for,
your
Evan.
yeah, exactly. Thanks for sharing your time and insights, and congrats on all the success.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here with you, and really appreciate you having us on.